has been proved that too much polyunsaturated fat, which is the fat we've been told to eat, which is margarine, soybean oil, all that kind of stuff, there is proof that that can raise your cholesterol strictly from an inflammation standpoint. Cholesterol is anti-inflammatory, so it will go up when your inflammation goes up. So sometimes during working out even can cause maybe a little bit of an increase in cholesterol, and that's what you want to happen because cholesterol heals things. It also makes hormones. So when people go on like statin drugs and they lower their cholesterol, a lot of times they have to go on Viagra also because now they don't have enough hormones to make testosterone. So, and those two drugs are sold by the same company, which is not an accident, I can tell you that. So a lot of times just getting your fat intake up helps fertility, and for men it really helps out in other ways. So keep that in mind when you're told that your cholesterol is high. I would really get several tests done before I go on any kind of medication. Yeah. So I just want you guys to, the message is out there that cholesterol is bad and it should be zero, and that's really the exact opposite message that we should be getting. Actually, if you look at the research, especially as a woman, you are twice as likely, I don't know if it's twice as likely, but you are more likely to die from low cholesterol than you are to die from high cholesterol. So keep that in mind just when you're thinking about eating and all that. There's a book, Weston A. Price was kind of the granddaddy of this whole movement of eating real food, and he went to all these different cultures to find out why all of a sudden, this was in the 20s, we have so much disease and tooth decay in these primitive cultures that hadn't been touched by modern man eating. And they ate all totally different diets. Some of them had very high carbohydrate diets, some of them had very low carbohydrate diets. There were certain cultures that ate only whale blubber and all fats. And there's I think it's in the cow, they eat like 30 gallons of raw milk a day. They eat meat, blood, Masai. So basically, it was just the whole take-home message was their macronutrient ratio, so their carbohydrate to fat to protein ratio was all very different across the board, but they all ate real food. Very few of the cultures ate grains. Some of the Irish cultures did, but if they did, they soaked them first, they grew their own, they fermented them. It was very different. So that's kind of where a lot of this movement started. Any questions about that? Okay. So we kind of went over already, like where can we get all this stuff? We are really lucky that Yonder Way Farm delivers directly here because they have grass-fed meat, they have pastured pork, they have bacon, they do hot dogs and eggs, they do pastured chicken, and they also deliver the raw milk and the raw cream and the cheese. So you have access to all that. All you have to do is go to the website and order it.
And the link to their website is on our website. So if you go to CrossFit Katie, there's a link to Yonder Way Farms. If you can click it, they have really delicious things. Their pork is amazing.
And they deliver every 2 weeks, and he told me that he was going to start trying to do like a veggie co-op type of thing. So it would be where we don't even have to go to the grocery store anymore. He would deliver all the veggies and the meat and everything. But now that Whole Foods is opened, the other stores are also getting really good about carrying a lot of this weird stuff. You can find ghee, grass-fed butter, which is Kerrygold, has a really good grass-fed butter. You can find that at H-E-B. I don't think they actually have that at Whole Foods even. You can get raw cheese from Kroger. They have just different varieties of cheddar. So it's becoming easier to find all this stuff. And it is expensive, I won't say that it's not. But for my family, my priority is I spend most of my money on food. And that's what's important to me. And so that's just, you kind of make that choice of you're going to be spending a lot more money than if you buy your chicken, 3 for $1. Just kind of comes out that way.
It pays off in the end, though.
Yeah, you stop buying all the alcohol.
Actually, you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people, and Sheila's going to talk a little bit about paleo on a budget, but you spend a lot of money on packaged food. If you buy cereals and, Nutrigrain bars and all that other stuff that's pre-packaged, you're going to spend a ton of money on that. And if you just take that money that you were spending on all this pre-packaged stuff and put it into Whole Foods, you are going to end up, you can really end up right about the same, if not maybe a little bit more because you're buying more expensive meat, but it's really close if you really sit down and examine what you got in your cart.
So when we talk about budget, meat would be my #1 priority as far as what spending your money on. If that is just unusual for you, you can go and buy just, regular, whatever you can afford from H-E-B, Kroger, whatever. and trim, you want to trim the fat off of that. And I would probably not eat as much meat as if I could get it from a good source. Just because there is, I do think factory farm meat, those cows they are treated the way they're not supposed to be treated. They're kept in little feedlots, they have no exercise, they're sick and you're eating them. So, but you do what you can. So I would just say if you can't afford this good stuff, I would still eat meat. I would not become a vegetarian, but I probably wouldn't make that a big part of my diet as I do because I get grass-fed, whatever. I think that organic vegetables, if you can't afford those, there's certain ones you want to buy organic, like berries, things with thin skins, peaches. Bananas don't have to be organic; they got a skin on them. Avocado, things you're gonna peel, they don't have to be organic. Watermelon. So just kind of budget that way. But still, if you can't afford organic at all, I would still go more meat because you can really wash vegetables pretty well. The meat is going to be a harder thing to kind of get the toxins out of. Eggs, you can, finding a local person that has chickens in their backyard is usually a good place to get good pastured, probably the best eggs you can find for a cheaper price. So there's a lot of people like around here that live in Brookshire or Richmond that have a lot of land and have chickens. So trying to find someone like that is a good thing. And then you can kind of go down to just buying frozen vegetables in the bag. I would just stay away from canned really as much as possible. And really there are things that you can do, like going in and buying a cow together. You can get some good cuts of meat that are usually really expensive that will come down to be like $5 a pound or something. Yonder Way you can do a whole pig to yourself and that will cut down on costs too. So kind of, the Sam's mentality, you buy a bulk, you're going to save money. And I can kind of, help you with other things like that.